So I will start sharing my screen. Yeah, so you should be able to see. I need to get rid of this guy. No. Yeah. Okay, so this is a repository where I collect nodes. Well, most of the time I was collecting nodes about category theory abstractions that are useful in programming. So there is big readme file. There are some examples in Scala in there. So yeah, I've started with basic stuff like 5-tower applicative, monads, all kind of monads. And then I went into like very strange combination of IO monads and very strange variations of different stuff, comonads, very abstractions that don't seem to be like super. Let's go here. Super popular, and they don't seem to be have a much usages, but people try out to do some stuff about this. I have a lot of links, and so let's try to look at something that is better like described. Maybe I will find out about contravariant functors. So yeah, to better understand the stuff apart from definition in Scala, I have on some of the abstractions some graphs that show you the laws, how they work. So for some abstractions, I was able to do this in a nice way. Yeah, they are also the laws explained by, well, I get the law and cut it in pieces that should be easier to understand. What else? I have implementations, for example, in Scala Z, it has those are links because, yeah, it was hard for me to like navigate all the stuff all the time when I was trying to compare stuff. So I've collected links, and you can take a look how this looks like in Haskell, for example.
Yeah, this is nice. Yeah.
Oh, this does not work. That's not cool. Something went wrong apparently.
What has changed?
I need to like check out my links. Yeah, and I was trying to collect also, for example, in here there are two. Well, there's a link to something that's called NLab. This is like Holy Bible of category theory.
Yeah, yeah. This is very, very nice, but very difficult.
Very dense, yeah. Very dense. Yeah, sometimes when stuck
I think that Bartosz was saying that on Anket Lab now you don't have a monad defined like in normal way. That two categories, everything is in two categories. So. I'm not sure completely what this means, but
so yeah, there's Bartosz is good at putting the simple definitions and making them like understandable. And in NLab, it is all generic, and it's like super hard to digest. I've started adding also proofs about the stuff in proof assistance. Like this is in Coq. There should be also Agda stuff and yeah, things like that. So most of these abstractions, I believe, are based on work that is done by Edward Kmet in Haskell. Yeah, maybe a bit I have a special section about function-oriented programming because it's I leverage the fact that you can define abstractions for ADTs and write a lot of stuff for free, get a lot of structure for a program for free. I was trying to do similar stuff for abstract algebra, or I would like to. Yeah, scrolling apparently is not very good for when I share screen as well. About abstract algebra, there are, yeah, the pictures are not. I see there are some problems. Yeah. Well, laws and how this looks like. There's not. I think that abstract algebra is not as developed as category. Sorry, theory.
Yeah, this is nice. And I seen. I'm saying that I seen now from your repository that cats have semigroup K and monoid K, which are I was surprised to see it because I never saw this name.
Well,
but
abstractions.
They are usually called like plus and right.
Yeah, there is a lot of problems around this with names. Naming is like weird.
I mean, it's logical. Logical. You have semigroup, and then you have like a higher candidate semigroup. I mean, for me, it's more logical than plus. But yeah.
Okay. Well, Haskell type system works a bit differently. They don't need to express some stuff as higher candidate because you can omit last type and it works.
Sorry, can you say this again?
Yeah. So in Haskell, you don't need to the last type in a signature you can just omit, and it's just abstraction that has some additional types. And Haskell type inference can figure out that there are additional types there. In Scala, you have to precisely specify how many types you have in a type.
Do you talking about like a partial application on the type level?
About partial application on the type level?
On the type level, yeah, you can partially apply higher kind of type to, and this is not possible Scala, right?
I'm not sure if I'm talking about this because I'm not super. I'm not an expert in Haskell. Yeah, so for example, monadic Warsaw, when I explained some things about category theory, I was translating stuff from Scala to Haskell on the fly.
Oh, cool.
It was hard. in Scala. So this is what I'm like really proud of, because I'm collecting all the resources that I found about category theory, proof theory, yeah, and type systems. There's a lot of like tutorials that I think they are like digestible. And then recently I got from you the link to Greg presentations, and they are super awesome. There's much more there than here, so yeah. That's what I was working at. That's how I got from my notes, and a lot of stuff in here is a plan for me to go deep into these topics one more time. So at one point, the holy grail for me was proving category theory in using homotype theory approach. But apparently people are already done this, and moreover, currently there's a company Statebox. They have like programming language based on Petri nets and category theory, very cool stuff, and they are proving category theory stuff in Idris. Super nice thing. Wednesday it happens. They are streaming on Twitch.
Oh, nice.
So,
Do you have some links for that?
yeah, Statebox. That's there. And if you scroll a bit, they should like the paper that I mentioned about. That's I believe this is a specification of language. It's based on category theory, so it's like super cool. I didn't read it yet. I'll paste the link. And
I was reading something already. Okay.
This is the Twitch account. I believe they started from like second episode. This proving stuff it is. Sometimes there are some issues in quality, but yeah, it's super nice. There's a lot of people around category theory that has applications in the industry. So those guys are in this company, I believe. Yeah, very cool stuff. I will place some links for all this thing.
Cool.
Yeah. So
that's
all.
Cool. For where you're, can you go back to the repository and you have this Trinitarianism, or how it says?
Yeah.
From where do you take this name?
So there is the funny part about this is that most of the stuff in sections is links to NLab. Yeah, so I believe on the top there should be like link also. And computation trinitarianism is like isomorphism, but it happens in it has a couple of formulations, let's say. Couple ways to see this. So, and Carey Howard is one approach. There's also proof programs as proofs. That's the Carey Howard, I believe. And there is something else also. But anyway, it's connection between category theory, logic, and type theory.
Yeah, I was watching Oregon Summer School, and Bob Harper was talking about this Holy Trinity: logic, type theory, and category theory.
Yeah, did you notice the last videos from Oregon Programming Language Summer School, 2019?
No, 2012. Yeah, I was watching 2012. So
on the recent, Bob Harper is talking about basic of type theory. It's super cool. But the last year, I believe, or something like that, we have a very he went very deep into this topic, into homotopy type theory. I believe he has course somewhere on the internet, and it goes like really deep, simply short sets, something.
I couldn't watch the 2011, 2012. I couldn't watch to the end, so yeah.
By this stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm busy doing.
Cool, nice. Very nice collection of links.
What is maybe worth knowing is that this state, I don't know if it's from there, but there is some program that offers grant if you do software in category theory, using category theory.
What did you say? Offers?
I don't know if I can find it, but okay, I will find it and paste the link now.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, when I find it. But the general idea is that there is a pool of money and it would be distributed among people who want to use category theory in practical way to create software. Now there's a couple of publications how to do it. There is, for example, this query language for relational database that use category theory. I believe it's for category theory query language, something like this. It's CQL, something like that. There are also a lot of papers around category theory and databases, and this is like all gray. They finished the work.
Peter, you're not sharing the screen anymore if you thought you were.
I thought I've stopped talking about my stuff, so I stopped sharing. Anyway, this is like they have very nice yeah, for example, resources page. Anyway, this is like language that use category theory, language to query databases. This is it's implemented, I believe, in Haskell, something like that. If we go to the GitHub, so they have something here.
This is something interesting.
Yeah, and but for this funding about category theory, I would need to like look for this. I don't have the link at the top of my mind. Yeah.
Nice stuff.
Yeah, a lot of crazy things is happening around category theory, like a lot of applications. We'll see what will happen from this.
Yeah, yeah.
Any questions about this?
Yeah, I have a ton of questions.
Well, I probably don't know the answers, but you can try to ask. Try me.
No, we have like a finite time today, so I will take a look at this. Yeah, definitely.
If you specify more precisely what you want to achieve, maybe I could point you to.
Cool. I will definitely take a look at this state box and this category.
Yeah, they are worth watching what they are doing. Is awesome. So yeah, I hope it's useful for someone. It's useful for me. So yeah, maybe I'm the only user of this repo. Who knows? But
oh, I was reading the documentation about exactly about this semi-group K and monolith K. That was like the first thing I noticed. So
I think yeah, it's useful to like if you are a Scala developer, for example, it is sometimes useful to take a look at the Haskell libraries. They have often good documentation. They sometimes stuff that is not translated. If you like want to dig into this and become a Scala Zero Cuts contributor. Yeah. But they are hard. Most of the stuff is translated already. So, do you have this? Yeah. So that was probably the end of my presentation.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. That was good. I will process this. It has to process on my computer, and then I'll upload it to YouTube with a link in the channel.
So, yeah, what I wanted to I asked about Idris language. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. Mm, I heard some conversations about Idris lately, so somewhere in the chat. Is it something happening around this?
Oh yeah, I was reading also. Dan is doing some work on Idris for Agoric, I think.
So I was thinking
I'm
that,
not sure what. Yeah,
that
but yeah, I think Dan tomorrow has his hours in the same time as today, Casper, I think. And I was also thinking that maybe I can join and hear what he's doing. Is this correct, Gary? That's Dan.
Which meeting?
Tomorrow, Dan has his
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow,
hour, right?
his office hour tomorrow morning. It's on the calendar. Let me see. Share.
Piotr, do you have a link?
Hold on just a second. Where is the calendar?
I'm not sure that I understand Idris so well, but I understand the basics, but writing proofs, I know this is not as difficult as in Agda or Cog, but I don't have I don't know how to write proofs. I'm interested in how Dan is working.
This time on Dan's meeting is for some reason showing up an hour early. I don't know what it is, but it's actually 8 o'clock Central Time U.S. But I don't know why my times are all off by 1 hour. I noticed that this morning that for me the Casper session was showed to start at 7, but it starts at 8 my time. So anyway, but there's this calendar here, and I'll put it in the channel so that you have you can click on that. But Tomislav, Dan hasn't been holding his office hours lately, but if you want to talk to him about something, I'm sure he will be glad to meet with you.
Well, I don't have any specifics, but yeah, I didn't look in his code, so yeah, I just wanted to know more. You know.
Okay.
if I may,
Idris is very nice language, I think.
yeah, I believe there is some people try to make it more popular. I think to maybe reach the popularity of Haskell or something like that. Because currently it's very niche language and it has a lot of nice features. There's singleton types, like linear types from Haskell, but this is work in progress, and in Idris it's already there, and there is what else? Oh, dependent types, obviously, and there are those capabilities to make proofs. And I was thinking that maybe it would be cool to implement in Idris something like TLI plus.
Oh yeah.
This is this model checker, because if you have a model checker implemented in Idris, you could play around with, I don't know, making it better. Well, somehow connect this with the capabilities of writing proofs. Maybe this could be like super cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the other idea was to, well, it's super huge task, write a K framework in Idris, you know, because you would have proving stuff and all this crazy verification that is happening in K framework. But those are very, very crazy ideas. Maybe it's not possible to too much work. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Greg was saying that he will make an RCast related to TLA.
Oh,
and
cool.
in the latest RCast, he was talking about TLA, but Pavel was not there, So they didn't talk about exactly like more deeper about TLA. But Pavel is an Archain developer, and he was implementing Casper consensus inside the TLA just to find the bug. So that was cool.
Nice.
You know, because the whole Archain is built on Scala, and you know this part he was translating to TLA and you know executing and find the bugs. So that was cool. And the relation to rolling, rolling will have as part of the behavioral type, it will have model operators, which are very similar to TLA operators, right? When you have like possibility and eventuality or something like that.
Interesting.
So I'm waiting for this Arcast when Greg will talk about this kind of stuff. So
I didn't listen to the last cast. I know that there is something about TLA. But yeah, one question about calendar and the events that are happening, because I'm not really sure where I can like be and I don't know, be productive. Maybe let's say I need to learn a lot of stuff, catch up with all the technicality that I don't know currently. But yeah, it seems that this computational calculi is like related to the stuff that I was playing around with this my repository, category theory, type theory. Yeah. What can you give me some like tips? What is happening? What are these events, different events in the calendar? Maybe some are applicable to John or not. I don't know.
So I'm not sure. I know only for Casper and Computational Calculi.
For Casper, there are like only these meetings today are relevant to Casper, right? And computational calculi stuff.
Yeah, our meetings are relevant to Casper. Greg has a stand-up on Monday morning at, I believe it's 9 o'clock my time. That's 9 Central Time. And it's devoted to Casper only. And it's Greg and usually one of our developers and anyone else that wants to join. Vlad Samfir sometimes joins that one, if you know Vlad. But that's really the best place to be when it comes to Casper. It's kind of drifted lately into less interesting areas, but I felt back when he was talking about his error correcting code method of I guess guaranteeing finality. Tomislav, maybe you can help me there. But
but it's also interesting in now also, right? And the latest Casper stand-up was very interesting.
Oh, when the one held what day? Today?
I was watching the recording, and Steve was there only.
Okay. Yeah, I think I saw that one. That dealt more with what you talked about earlier, I believe, didn't it?
Yeah, about continuous execution.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll go back and make sure I watched that one. But definitely Greg's Casper sessions is a great place to get involved. And it's the same chat room that we use for the debrief on Wednesdays. It's the Zoom that ends in 81. If you've seen that one in the chat, it's Christian's chat room.
81, it's the end, right? Cool. I see. Thanks. So it's on Monday, right?
Yeah, Monday. It's on the calendar, and I think if you, in theory, if you pull up the calendar, it's supposed to show it to you in your time zone, but it's not working for me right now.
But it's okay that I participate in there, or it's like internal stuff, and I don't know, shouldn't be aware of.
I think I have shown up at that meeting, and if you're not welcome there, then they should have shot me, because I'm certainly not qualified compared to your credentials. So, no, you would be welcome there, I'm sure.
But if you want to be more, in line, you can watch some previous stuff, and
Oh yeah. There's some great videos back there around 30, 29, 30, 31, and 32 are the numbers on them. I've watched several of those multiple times.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I posted in the Discord the last Casper stand-up.
Thank you very much.
For me, this is like a too advanced, and I'm just watching the recordings and try to.
You posted on
on the Discord.
The Discord.
In the consensus.
Yeah.
And this is called Casper. This is called Casper, but it's like a general more about consensus, because Casper is about consensus. So.
Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah. So thanks again for inviting me. It's like mind-blowing stuff. I'm like watching videos that are super interesting. All the knowledge sharing. It's amazing stuff. Really. I'm like super excited. I hope that I will at some point in the future ask more meaningful questions and participate better, let's say, or maybe bring something more beneficial to everyone. But yeah, now
thank you for participation.
Yes,
Sorry?
thank you very much.
Yeah. And if you are working on something interesting, you can introduce to this group. So whatever you have in mind, you can squeeze it in our like.
Okay. Yeah, and we can also start other sessions as well if we need to. So yeah, these things are like gold. So yeah, happy to have you.
Maybe we can try something in this categorical language. Maybe a few examples and just to see how this works.
Yeah. That would be cool. Yeah. Okay, I will drop out for my other duties. Cheers.
Okay. Have a nice day. See you soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Thanks.